Jéssica aqui. Vamos dar continuidade ao jogo Detective Story Jack's Case. Se você está gostando desse tipo de gameplay com 2 idiomas simultâneos para potencializar o seu aprendizado, já deixa o like aqui no vídeo, se inscreve no canal e ativa o sininho para não perder nenhum vídeo novo. Bora lá! Last Supper. Boss, have you heard about the incident at the Falcon restaurant? No, what happened? Somebody poisoned a customer. This morning, the owner of the restaurant, Mr. Perry, called us to help him save the reputation of the Falcon. He is 100% positive his staff had nothing to do with the crime. I've left a newspaper in your office. The article in it briefly describes the details of yesterday's incident. Find a newspaper with the article about the restaurant incident.
E para você que não quer mais perder nenhuma oportunidade por não dominar a língua inglesa, eu vou deixar aqui na descrição o link para você assistir às aulas gratuitas. Corre para assistir enquanto está disponível.
É globe. Nope. Globe. Read the article about the incident in the Falcon restaurant. A guest of the Falcon restaurant passed away from intoxication. Meet up with Gordon Perry, owner of the Falcon restaurant. É o pai de Katy Perry. Hello, Mr. Perry. Can you tell me what happened yesterday? Nice to meet you, Detective. I'm so glad you're here. Unless you were able to prove that the restaurant had nothing to do with Mr. Anderson's death, I'm bankrupt. To draw any conclusions, I need to know what Mr. Anderson had for dinner in your restaurant. No problem, Detective. The restaurant bill for his dinner must be somewhere in the kitchen. Vamos lá. Find the victim's restaurant bill. O que tem nessa conta aí? Mr. Perry, where are the dishes Brad Anderson ordered yesterday? Unfortunately, everything was thrown away and disposed of. Our staff could even imagine that Mr. Anderson was poisoned. We decided that he had a heart attack. There's a bottle of wine on his bill. Perhaps you kept some? Probably. We need to check in the kitchen. Find a bottle of wine Anderson ordered for dinner. Take the wine to Jason for analysis. Jason, examine this wine for the presence of cyanide. Okay, boss. Carry out a wine analysis for the presence of cyanide. Vamos ver a análise do vinho agora. Boss, I'm done with the wine analysis, and it does contain cyanide in large quantities. Thank you, Jason. Go back to the Falcon restaurant and get more details from Gordon Perry about the origin of the wine. Mr. Perry, we've detected poison in the wine Brad Anderson was drinking. That's impossible. We obtain all our wines from a regular supplier, and they are all kept in the cellar. Well, unfortunately, someone spiked the wine, someone who had access to it. I can't believe any of our staff would do that. It's not necessarily one of your employees. I understand it was not Mr. Anderson's first visit to your restaurant. Yes, he was a loyal customer. That evening he wasn't alone, though. He was accompanied by an attractive brunette, but she left early. It appeared they had a falling out. Oh, really? That's a very important piece of information. Why didn't you mention it before? I didn't make much of it, and you never asked, do you think she could be the poisoner? Possibly, but now we should focus on identifying all the possible suspects. Talk to Brad Anderson's widow. Good afternoon, Mrs. Anderson. Please accept my condolences. I'm investigating the murder of your husband, and I need to ask you some questions. Good afternoon, Detective. Sure, I'll do anything to help. We've discovered that the evening your husband was poisoned, he was having dinner with a brunette in the restaurant. Do you know who that woman is? I have no idea. Mrs. Anderson, what was your relationship with your late husband like? Detective, I don't know where you're going with this, but I have no intention of answering such questions. I beg your pardon, Mrs. Anderson. I'm just trying to find your husband's killer. I have no doubt that his death was a deliberate, premeditated murder. Would you allow me to inspect Mrs. Anderson's office? Sure, Detective. I'll show you to his office.
E se você tá gostando desse tipo de gameplay, já deixa o like e se inscreve no canal.
Take Brother Anderson's briefcase to Jason for opening. Jason, I need to look at the contents of the briefcase, but it's locked. Can you open it? No problem. Unlock the briefcase.